Hi, Capek here. I'm going to make a quick tutorial for Bite Your Nails by Marcin. I've made tabs for this section I'm going to teach and they're in the description of the video. I definitely recommend you to check them out because you will have great trouble learning it if you don't. So, Giro tempo is 128 BPM, I think, but I recommend you greatly to aim for 115 because it's way fast enough. It starts off with a quick flamenco section. Ah, okay. I'm going to teach that. So it starts with a G minor chord with an E added on top. Very flamenco. And it's in drop D tuning. And the rest is standard. So you go down the scale, starting with a little tremolo thing, and then like I'm a run, pull off, I'm a run, pull off, I'm a run, pull off, and the last note is played like a bar chord, like, because you need to do that to be comfortable to play the next chord, which is pretty straightforward, but like I think it's a G, I guess a G chord, kind of the same right hand pattern as the previous chord, twirl thing, like a harmonic on the G string, 19th fret, tight notes, like not, it's more tight. Next bar starts with a A sharp chord, and you go down the scale. Pull off, pull off. For this, I think Marcin plays it like in a very electric picking style playing, but I think it's not really comfortable to play like. I have trouble like getting from there to there. So I prefer to do it in a like tremolo style picking, more traditional. Pull off, pull off. Next bar played with the bass at the same time, and then diminished, and diminished arpeggio, I guess. Ending with a tap on the B string with your left hand, 11th fret. So, ghost notes. And so. The shape is like pretty straightforward, you just. I want to show that. And then from there you go back to the first chord and you play an upstroke. So upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke 4 times, like and then same as before, except now before you are doing a bar chord on the last note, but because the next bar from there is a tapping section, you have no choice but to play it the normal way, which is nice. Then next bar, jump, pretty tricky to get down, but if you play it slow enough and repeating like 1 or 2 bars at really slow pace, like 30 BPM or something like that. So this bar goes left hand tapping and right hand little groove going with the bass. So sorry, you can bend that if you want, make it vibrate a little bit. Tap, tap, pull off, next bar. I'm going to teach that a little bit more. So when you are done with that tapping section, you go back from there you strum the string and you slide to the 17th fret. 18 is also okay, while picking the entire strings, so from all the strings. So you have to mute everything except your pinky, so not this is crazy ugly. So tap, tap, while holding everything, pretty tricky too. So next chord also with a lot of muted string. So there's only 3 notes ringing. So upstroke, downstroke, and then same as before, descending the scale. Same as before, except now, before you were doing the tapping thing, but now you have to slide and go to the next section. And the next section goes slowly, yes. So I think it's enough. So first bar goes 3 chords, you go forte, kick, snare kick, snare kick. And it's going to get pretty tricky from then, so I'm not going to explain really deep, but well, you play those 3 bass notes, like a medieval thing, I guess. Pretty tight chords, except the last one, like a little groovy thing going. Scratch pad. Muting all the strings. Again, muting all the strings. And you are going like hitching the sound hole of the guitar to make a snare sound while strumming the strings, so you can keep the groove going while you are playing some notes. So pull off, tapping left hand only, so right hand harmonic on the 19th fret of the D string. Sorry. Tapping on the 10th fret, so everything is in the tab, so I'm going to stop doing that. Open string, tapping 2, look at my fingering, so slide, normal playing, then you slide, so the fingering here is very important because you do not have a lot of room to play with your fingers. So I think you should try to be to play it like Martin does. And I think I mentioned the essential fingerings in my tabs, so definitely get an eye on that. Slide, normal playing, bass, kick, pull off, slide. So pull off, slide, pull off again. This is pretty tricky because you're on the high strings and they are tensed. So open string, extremely big jump from there to there, and that jump you have to play with your big index, not index finger, M finger, I guess. Sorry, because the next section is a tapping part that you have no choice, you have to play it starting with that finger. So if you do, it's not really comfortable to tap from a finger that was already there, like it's not comfortable, so I really recommend you to play. Next bar goes little jazzy thing, I guess. This left hand is just doing like a chord thing. It's pretty tricky, but you have to try to make it, let it ring as much as you can, like it's not, because it's too tight, you're gonna lose the groove, so kick, you play that chord, pretty suspicious chord. Snare, again with the kick, and you play some groove with your guitar body. So the entire bar goes. And next you go back to that three chord section. So same as before, like kick, snare, kick, scratch pad, muting all the strings. Same as before, you are hitting that rim, so it's like rim shot, I think is the word. So you can keep the groove going with the snare. So pretty tricky, but you have to slide. I do it all left hand because it's actually more comfortable for me to play, because my left hand is way stronger than my left hand. I have trouble playing those picado stuff. I like playing it like hammer on slide or pull off slide, but play it as you want, as long as it is comfortable for you. And there, the fingering is like one of the most weird fingering as I ever have played on my guitar. So you end up here with your index finger on the 9th fret, and then you go with that finger, middle finger, on the 10th fret, and then you go back, kind of a sweeping thing, I guess, to play that this way. At first it's kind of hard, so try to practice it enough, like in this small section, so you can get it done without thinking about it, because you will lose the tempo and all if you try to think about it. So same as before, like that slide thing. I like to tap it because it's more comfortable for my right hand, like I said, but I don't think Marcin does, so do as you want. Normal playing, like before, slide, like before with the bass, kick, pull off, slide, and then go up. Pretty tricky too, because it's all with the pinky and with the really tensed area of the fretboard. And then tremolo section, you can rest. This is pretty straightforward, just check the tabs and practice it. Tremolo, I'm not going to explain that, there's like thousands of tutorials going on that, so. It's actually a little bit tricky because you have to avoid as much as you can to play that note that you are barring, because that chord can only be played this way because you have your pinky going here and that finger playing the melody. So you have to bar those frets. You can see my finger broke purposefully by playing those weird bar chords. So but maybe, yeah, no, it's tricky. So try to avoid playing that B string ringing because it's so ugly actually. The tremolo is extremely fast at the original tempo, so really play it at 1:15. Pretty tricky too, but you have to play that those two melody lines, those two notes with this only finger, and it's not really free because of all your fingers having to press all the time. Then play that bass, a little bit of rest again. Marcin does a detuning thing, but I don't, and he does not live, so do not bother. Same as before, so. And then next section, which I call bridge section, which is. Okay, so I'm going to try to explain that, and then we are almost finished. So from that arpeggiating thing you did, you have to tap or left hand, but meanwhile, because this hand is free and not doing any percussion or anything at all, you have to mute the strings behind that tapping thing, so you do not have as much back string ringing. I don't know if it's, you know, when you're tapping, there's like both sides of the notes ringing, and you can avoid that by just putting your hand and muting everything. Percussion break, so then next bar. Actually kind of tricky too, so you have to mute everything except that bass and notes and the melody line. So again, that index finger is barring everything like a bar chord, but only pressing that bass on the 8th fret of the G string. So with a kick, give it a little punch, but we are not in forte anymore, like it's mezzo forte, I guess. So snare, meanwhile, you're sliding, snare, tapping with your middle finger, snare. Everything is in between, like you do not play, it's more. Get it, groove it a little bit. And then, kind of similar to that, but trickier. This is one tricky arpeggio, like it's maybe the trickiest of the bunch. Notice my right hand is only keep that index finger ringing and go tap that bass note or left hand in between, kick and tight chord. So normal playing like before. No percussions anymore because you have to use this hand, so same as but an octave higher. Scratch pad, and then so that's I play it this I choose this fingering. You could also do this one because it's easier to go to the next chord. But if you do this fingering, you can mute this E string, and then you can, from that scratching thing, you can strum the chord, and you could not strum the chord if you were using that fingering because this note is ringing and you do not want to. So next fingering, which is the same as so tapping, same as before, but now you add percussions, so in between, rim shot like before, pull off, harmonic on the D string, like before, all like before, this entire part. And then you keep that note ringing as much as you can, and then kick and bass tap while you are holding this, so pretty tricky, but tapping, so rim shot, slide, this, and then you go to some electric picking style stuff, extremely fast at the original tempo. So you can check my fingering if you want to try to play it, but I'm going to teach how to play it in a simpler and less fast way. This is the fingering Marcin does in the recording, but I like to play way chiller. And then back to that section, playing it almost the same but with a little more groove going and a little bit more juice, so it does not feel as much of the same. I'm going to play it slow first. Let's teach that and then we are almost done. This is a long video, damn. So, same as before, like those displaced drumming thing, but I like to add a little bit of juice with a bass going at first. No drumming, harmonics, so rim shots, pull off, harmonic, same as before. Gallop string, so slow. Like before. Harmonics. Like before. Kind of tricky too. So this is the trickiest part of the entire song, I think, to me at least. So from almost all left hand, you play the first note with a bass and the kick, pull off, arm around, pull off. So snare at the same time, keep the groove going always. And then pretty tricky parts. Play some octaves with harmonics and you just jump to the entire length of the fretboard and jump again. But my way of simplifying it a bit to make it playable live is to not play this harmonics, but to just play those which are in tune with the rest of the song but are much easier to play actually. Same as before. New section. So harmonics, tapping, 3 notes, the rest is all muted. Extremely tricky too, so I do not like to play it the way Marcin does, so this is my way of doing it find your own if you want. So when you fall. Discord. And the next section, pretty cool, in 5. Okay, so extremely tricky too, but it's more going in the rhythm side. So you are playing a groove in 5/8. So my recommendation is to check the tabs so you can see where the beat falls on which notes. So you can then practice it extremely slow while counting to 5. So just take a metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tricky to master but doable still. I'm going to show the pattern with the right hand, but then check the tabs and it's going to be way slower. You play like 4 different shapes, and all starting with a bass slap and the kick. So snare, upstroke. And that's it. I'm going to try to play it entirely from now. And that's it. A lot of mistakes here, but do not hesitate to check out my new album, which came out the 7th of March. The link is in the description. Ciao. Good luck learning this crazy hard song.